Question 4 of the C1 2016 Edexcel paper is looking at graph transformations. We've got two different graph transformations to do. With any sort of exam question, what you'll generally have to do is draw the new transformation and show clearly maximum, minimum points and where it crosses the y-axis. Sometimes the x-axis, but mainly just the y-axis. Now, just before I go on to answering this question, I'm just going to go over quickly how I determine whether it's a shift or a stretch in the x direction or the y direction or anything like that. Now, the first question I always ask is the number inside or outside of the brackets? So looking at question 1, we see that it's 3 f of x, and clearly you can see that this is outside of the brackets. If I had something else, like f of 2x, then clearly this is inside the bracket. Question 2 I always ask myself is, does this therefore change the x or y coordinates? If it's inside, it means the x, and if it's the outside, it means the y coordinate that's being changed. Now, the last thing I usually ask myself is, do I do what it says or the opposite? Now, if the instruction is on the outside, then you do what it says. So for example, here you do every y coordinate times by 3. But if it's on the inside, you'll do the opposite. So here, every x coordinate is divided by 2. Looking at a different example, if I had y equals f of x plus 2, that means that every y coordinate is added on 2. So therefore, if I had an original coordinate of 1, 3, that means my new coordinate would be 1, 5. If I had something like f of y equals f of x plus 2, it's inside the brackets, which means that it's going to affect the x coordinate, which means because it's inside the brackets, I'll do the opposite. So again, if I had a coordinate that was 1, 3, that would change to only the x coordinates being changed there. It says plus 2, it's inside the bracket, so I do the opposite. Therefore, it would become minus 1, 3. So on to actually answering the question, the first part is y equals 3 f of x. Now just going through the explanation there, it's on the outside of the brackets, which means it affects the y coordinates, and therefore every y coordinate is times by 3. So this coordinate here, for example, we know it's at the moment minus 2, 4. That's going to change to minus 2, 12. And this coordinate at B is now, instead of it being 3 minus 8, it's going to be 3 minus 24. So just sketching that, this coordinate here at the moment at the origin, 0 times by 3 is 0. So that's going to stay exactly the same. Our other coordinate, as I've just written, is going to be here, which is at minus 2, 12. And down here, we're going to have the coordinate of B dash, which is 3 minus 24. And then actually just drawing it, apologies in advance if this goes badly wrong, because it probably will do. Yep, there you go, goes through there, goes through the origin, and then cuts that axis there and goes across. So we can actually just write there 0, 0. I am drawing this by hand, but not very well. I apologize for that. Hopefully you get the idea. Now looking at part B, we've got y equals f of x minus 4. Now, same questions to ask. Is it on the inside or the outside of the brackets? It's on the outside. Does that mean it affects the x coordinate or the y coordinate? Well, it's on the outside, so it affects the y coordinate. Do I do what it says, or do I do the opposite? Well, it's outside the brackets, it affects the y coordinate, so I just do what it says, which means that every y coordinate is going to be taken down by 4, which means instead of A being at minus 2, 4, that's going to move 4 places down, so we'll be now at minus 2, 0. 0, 0 is now going to go down to 0 minus 4, and B, which is 3 minus 8, will go down to somewhere like 3 minus 12. Well, not like that, actually there, I just can't draw it very well. And then just going about the sketch, that's going to be the maximum point. Sorry, let me try that again. That's going to be the maximum point there. It's going to go through the graph looking like that and then go up like that. I know it doesn't look anything like that, but as long as it has the same type of shape and you have clearly labeled where it goes through the maximum, the minimum, and where it goes through the y-axis, you'll get all the marks for it. So hopefully you found my dodgy drawings useful. Please do subscribe and share my videos if you have found them useful. That'd be great. Thank you very much.